In the blood-soaked shadows of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, one figure reigns supreme over all darkness, Muzan Kibutsuji, the first demon, the apex predator, the eternal nightmare. He is the origin of all demonic corruption and the architect of a millennium of human suffering. No other villain in the series holds such weight, such legacy, and such terror. The Demon King has arrived. Muzan Kibutsuji is not merely a villain. He is the villain. His presence looms over the Demon Slayer universe like a suffocating fog. Though he is rarely seen in the early stages of the story, his influence is absolute. From the very beginning, Muzan is the silent puppeteer, pulling strings from the darkness while his creations, 12 Kizuki, wreak havoc upon the world. He is cunning, calculating, and utterly remorseless. He wears many faces. A polite nobleman, a woman in a kimono, a fragile-looking child. He walks among humans unnoticed, hiding his true form and intentions until it's too late. When Tanjiro Kamado first encounters Muzan, he is shocked not only by the demon's apparent humanity, but by the terrifying realization. The being responsible for the slaughter of his family stands calmly in a Tokyo street disguised as an ordinary man. So who is Muzan Kibutsuji, and what monstrous path led him to become the apex of all evil? Origins: the birth of a monster. To understand Muzan, we must return over 1,000 years to Japan's Heian era. Muzan was once a human, a young man born frail, cursed with a body on the brink of death. Before he even took his first breath, his heart had stopped in the womb. He only survived due to a doctor's desperate efforts, and even then, he remained terminally ill. At the edge of death, Muzan became the subject of an experimental treatment, a cocktail of rare herbs that included the mysterious blue spider lily. The result was a miracle and a curse. The experiment twisted Muzan's biology into something grotesque and unprecedented. He gained immortality and human strength, and a monstrous appetite for human flesh. Thus, the first demon was born. But even as he reveled in his newfound vitality, Muzan realized he was still vulnerable. The sun, the purest force of nature, could reduce him to ash in seconds. This realization planted the seed of obsession in his mind. True immortality could only be achieved by conquering the sun. For over 1,000 years, he searched for the elusive blue spider lily that had triggered his transformation. Failing that, he resolved to create a successor, a demon strong enough to walk in daylight. The fear of change. Muzan's thirst for power is not rooted in ambition alone. It stems from deep, paralyzing fear. In one of his rare admissions, he says, "The one thing I hate is change. The one thing I like is permanence." Muzan loathes the fragility of life. To him, change represents decay, a reminder that everything, even beauty and strength, fades with time. His immortality is not a gift. It is a rejection of mortality, a violent denial of vulnerability. His early brush with death carved this fear into his psyche. Having fought to survive before birth, Muzan resolved never to feel weak again. This is why he cannot tolerate failure, why he lashes out at his demons with unrelenting cruelty, and why he eradicates anything that reminds him of his own limitations. In truth, Muzan is not brave. He is afraid. Terrified of death, terrified of weakness, and willing to destroy the world to escape it. The powers of a god. As the first and most powerful demon, Muzan possesses abilities that border on divine. His regenerative power is near absolute. He can recover from beheadings, explosions, and even cellular destruction. He has 7 hearts and 5 brains, each capable of independent function, and his body can adapt mid-battle by relocating these vital organs to evade fatal strikes. Muzan's flesh is biokinetic. He can sprout tendrils, whips, mouths, claws, and even manipulate his internal organs. His speed defies human comprehension, and his strength is such that entire buildings crumble beneath his blows. Only a coordinated, all-out effort from the Demon Slayer Corps, including multiple Hashira and advanced tactics, could even begin to stand a chance against him. And even then, the cost was catastrophic. During the final battle in the Infinity Castle, Muzan reveals the terrifying full extent of this form. A grotesque, pulsating mass of sinew and fury, attacking with relentless force, regenerating faster than anyone can damage him. He is a force of nature, death incarnate. Master of manipulation. Yet perhaps Muzan's most dangerous trait is not his power, but his mind. He is a master manipulator, an emotional puppeteer who twists the traumas and weaknesses of his demons to ensure their loyalty. Every member of the 12 Kizuki was carefully chosen, not just for strength, but for their susceptibility to control. He erased Akaza's past, exploiting his guilt. He fed lies to Ryu, making him believe his family betrayed him. He preyed on Hanting with cowardice and delusions. He tempted Kokushibo with promises of martial perfection and eternal strength. Muzan doesn't lead by respect, he rules through fear. His blood grants power, but it comes with strings. Any demon who even dares to speak his name out loud is cursed to die. Their body implodes in horrific agony. No betrayal is tolerated. No failure is forgiven. Even among monsters, Muzan is an outlier, a tyrant with no empathy, no patience, and no mercy. The fall of a demon king. For all his power, Muzan was ultimately brought down not by brute strength, but by human ingenuity and sacrifice. Tamayo, a forward demon who defected from Muzan's control, dedicated centuries to undermining him. In the final confrontation, she administered a powerful humanization drug, a cocktail so potent it aged Muzan's body over 9,000 years in the span of a few hours. Desperate, decaying, and facing certain death, Muzan mutated one last time into a grotesque infant, an abomination of flesh and muscle, crawling and writhing in a pathetic bid for survival. But the sun rose, and for all his transformation, he could not escape it. Muzan screamed as the light burned him alive, his cells unraveling, his legacy crumbling. In his final moments, he was no longer a god. He was a terrified creature, afraid, alone, and dying. A glimpse of humanity. As Muzan disintegrated, something strange happened. He remembered Kagaya Ubaishiki's words. Nothing is eternal, except the emotions we leave behind. And for the first time in over a millennium, Muzan wept. Not for the countless innocents he murdered, not for the demons he twisted and discarded. He could not recall a single name, a single face. He wept for himself, for the futility of his life, for the fear that had consumed him, for the emptiness that his power could never fill. In a final desperate act, he transferred his blood to Tanjiro, hoping to create a new demon king who would carry on his legacy. But Tanjiro, strong in spirit, unyielding in will, rejected it. Even in death, Muzan's ideology failed. A legacy of shadows. Though Muzan was destroyed, the world he scarred will never be the same. 1,000 years of death and terror left deep wounds in humanity's history. Entire bloodlines were wiped out. Generations of demon slayers lived and died in battle. And while the Demon Slayer Corps celebrated victory, it came at a devastating price. Tanjiro, Nezuko, and the remaining Hashira bore not only physical wounds, but emotional ones. Muzan's legacy is not just measured in bodies, it's measured in the suffering he caused, in the families broken, in the future stolen. His name may no longer be whispered in fear, but his influence lingers in stories, in pain, in memory. The Demon King falls. And so ends the tale of Muzan Kibutsuji, the first demon, the king of all demons, and the greatest evil to ever walk the earth. A being born of fear, forged in blood, destroyed by the very humanity he sought to extinguish. His story is not just one of terror, it is a cautionary tale about what happens when fear becomes obsession, and power becomes the only purpose. If you found this journey into the abyss compelling, be sure to follow the Hashira Chronicles for more deep dives into the dark legends of Demon Slayer. Who was the scariest demon in the 12 Kizuki? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and don't say his name.